Tired of playing iPhone games with birds in them? Well, here's one with samurais, knights, and Vikings.
This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by Windows Azure. Think in Windows Azure.
Welcome to App Judgment. I'm Graham. Look, iPhone games are a lot of fun and mobile gaming is really coming of age right now, but I think there's one thing we can all agree on. There's a pattern forming. Most of the top iPhone games are all games that have birds in them. It's almost as if putting a bird on it is the secret to having a smash hit iPhone game these days. Now, there's nothing wrong with birds, it's just that either we're really obsessed with them or game developers aren't being creative enough with their characters. Enter Siegehero. Now, this is more my speed. Vikings, knights, and samurais, and instead of birds we have rocks, fire, and bombs. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. Hey, this looks a lot like Angry Birds. Well, you're right, it does. And I know some of you are going to immediately shout, it's a clone! But hear me out on this one. Co-produced by Armor Games, Siegehero is based off of a popular web flash game called Crush the Castle, also produced by Armor Games back in 2009, a full year before Angry Birds showed up on the App Store. Crush the Castle even had an iPhone version which reached number 4 on the App Store months before Angry Birds became a smash hit. One would assume because the rocks were swapped out with cute bird characters. Last year, Armor Games also produced a game called Seizure with developer Anton Fedoruk and his company WarSpark. Seizure was a physics-based castle-destroying game that, besides having an epic theme song, it also had some really unique puzzles and gameplay challenges. Seizure was popular enough that WarSpark and Armor Games decided to work to make an iPhone version, and voila, Siegehero is born. Available for the iPad and the iPhone, Siegehero takes the familiar physics game experience that most of us are used to and changes things up a bit. Instead of launching objects across a map, you're launching things directly towards the structures you're trying to destroy. You start out with rocks as your weapons, and with some degree of accuracy, you need to hit the right parts of the structure to cause everything to tumble down and kill all the bad guys. When all the bad guys are taken care of, you move on to the next level. Tap on the right to see how much ammo you have remaining, and tap and hold to bring up a scope for even more accuracy. Your ammo also gets more sophisticated as you go along. And we'll take a look at all of the weapons as well as some of the unique things that set Siegehero apart from other physics games right after we thank our sponsor.
So Prager, I wanted to learn how to program. I wanted to build like an iPhone application or an iPad application.
Or a web app as well.
Or a web app, definitely. But I realized, forget about just learning the front end of stuff, there's this whole back end.
Yeah, and so what Windows Azure allows you to do is it wants you as a programmer or a developer to be able to use your creativity, use your skill in developing just your app.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about the infrastructure for processing, the infrastructure for storage, or even deployment, what they do is Windows Azure provides all of that framework.
That's really cool.
For you to do that. So what you do is you take their SDK, which includes all that back end stuff, and you develop your creative app on top of it.
Yeah.
And as you deploy it out, it has immediately all the power that Microsoft and Windows Azure provides, all the processing power to deal with the computing that goes on behind the scenes, the scale of storage that you need, and even distributing the app.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and what's even cooler about it is that you might start really slowly, and it's not really popular, or you're just getting off the ground, and not a lot of people are getting it. You don't want to have to pay for all of the processing power, all the storage power that Windows Azure provides. So what you do is, as you scale up, you pay more. The same way as if you use more electricity at your house, you pay for more like that.
And now we've seen a few companies sort of try to do it all by themselves, and it didn't quite work out. So this is kind of perfect for small scale to large scale companies.
Exactly. So you've got anything from professional enterprise companies to just someone who wants to create a web app or some kind of any kind of device app and wants to be able to have the experience of focusing on the product and have the back end just run absolutely pro.
That's pretty good. Now I have the benefit of having a David Prager here, but you don't have one, so you should go check out www.microsoft.com/cloud/Windows Azure to learn more about this system.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, once you get a few puzzles in, you'll get better weapons to use during your siege. You'll eventually get rock clusters that do more damage to an area. Then you get bombs, which do a massive amount of damage. The fire jar is basically a Molotov cocktail that sets fire to wood and melts ice. And there are many more weapons to unlock as you go forward. One interesting gameplay element of Siegehero are the villagers, which are innocent characters caught in the crossfire of your siege. Your goal is to dispose of the bad guys, but leave the villagers unharmed. This can lead to some pretty challenging puzzles. You can still pass a level if a villager dies, but you'll lose points. As with most physics-based puzzle games, your goal is to maximize your moves and get the highest score you can. A top score is rewarded with a gold crown, while a subpar completion only gets you a green check mark. So, Siegehero, let's talk about the pros and cons. While on the surface, Siegehero looks like another popular physics game on the iPhone, once you dig a bit deeper and you start playing the game, you'll notice the difference, and it's a lot of fun. The artwork is great, the gameplay is slick and familiar, and the added gameplay elements like villagers and different weapons do well to make sure the game never gets boring. On the con side, I was able to finish this game in less than an hour, and that might be an indication that the puzzles aren't quite challenging enough. Though it looks like there are plans to regularly update the game with newer, more challenging puzzles as the game goes on. Hey, whether you think this game is a copy or something totally original, it's hard to deny that this game is fun, and I think there are even a few things that this game does even better than Angry Birds. Download Siegehero. I have to thank AppJudgment viewer Rob Guthertz for tweeting me to let me know about Siegehero. Thanks for the tweet, Rob. And if you guys have an app or game you'd like to see on AppJudgment, you can tweet me at Graham Hancock. You can also follow the show at AppJudgment, subscribe to us on YouTube, friend us on Facebook, or visit our homepage at revision3.com/appjudgment. Thanks for watching.